What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to find yourself today. I hope it's been a good day for you. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. John already in the chat claiming first on Valentine's Day. And a big strong suck it to start the stream. Way to go, John. And Cisco, Mr. Alfie, welcome back. Mr. Alfie, did you get the account all set up from the giveaway last weekend? Hopefully you got all that squared away with Bespoke there. And I did remember to turn my microphone on. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very cool. Oh, man. How did CPI trading go yesterday for everybody? Big drop on the forwards there. Dollar rallied pretty strong off of the inflation data that came out. They were expecting it to drop a little bit. Actually went up. Where did that go? That was yesterday weekly. Let me see. They were anticipating 3.7, came out to 3.9. It was 3.9 previously, so it's still holding right at 4%, allegedly. Inflation rate year over year was 3.4. They were forecasting 2.9, allegedly came in at 3.1. So, it just is what it is. Just is what it is. All kinds of crazy stuff going on in the world around us right now. What's up, Beeswax? Welcome in. John says, I made exactly negative $3, and according to my calculations, that's better than negative $4. Yeah, I mean, $3 in drawdown, not too bad. Not too bad. Welcome back, Cisco. Glad to have you. Glad to have the boys back in here today. Look at a little futures trading here. Oh, excuse me. I need to do some work on a futures account. So we'll see how that goes. NAS, it was kind of a weird day. Big rejection down and then pulled way up pretty hard off of that bottom yesterday, off of the CPI news on NAS or NQ, whatever you want to say it. But you had a big drop, bottomed out, and then pushed up pretty hard in that power hour. The last couple hours of the day pulled back up pretty good, consolidated a little bit overnight, and then pushed up again and finished off that fair value gap currently here. I mean, I don't know what to make of the CPI news and the inflation news. It's taken out sell side liquidity. NQ's just been ripping hard. So it's kind of hard to say that this wasn't just a pullback, a retracement. And we're going to continue just to see higher highs here. Say for ES. Excuse me. Just ripping. Higher highs all the time. All new all-time highs. Did have a big drop yesterday, so it's today going to be an inside day. Maybe not take out yesterday's high or low at all. Big volume imbalance here on ES. We did reach into it yesterday on that CPI news, pulled back into it, but we haven't closed it all the way out here. So maybe potentially it wants to finish out that volume imbalance there, push all the way down. We'll just kind of see what the price gives us today as we get into it. Can you ignore my asking start time on Discord? I will. I haven't even gotten on Discord yet today, so I will ignore you. John says, did you see where Top Step TV is giving away Top Step X platforms for something like $4.25 or something like that? The cost of data feed. Not sure if that's the cost of Combine, but I think it is. So I think I did see that, but I think it's only for the early, the people that got in on the early invitation thing. I don't think that's for everybody. I think that's just for if you were accepted into the early adopter program or whatever they called it, because they only gave out so many of those. And I think if you got into those, you can get it for $4.25. I don't think that's for everyone. If I must, but I don't know. I don't really keep up with Top Step all that much on their socials or what their giveaways are, and I honestly haven't watched their stream since early last week. I mean, it's been like a week and a half since I've seen anything going on over there. So equities only go up. I only see blue, no pink. It's Valentine's Day. Maybe we should make everything pink. We should make everything pink today on Valentine's Day. How about that? How about them apples? Huh, John? What do you say? Oh, so I don't know. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the London 5-minute scout, but it was a beaut again last night. The 2 a.m. 5-minute continuation was a really nice opportunity. One tick above entry, one tick below target, 0.5% R, or not 0.5%, but just half R, and worked out beautifully again last night. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with that or been testing it or how it's been going for you, but nice to see. What's up, Shadow Trades? Welcome in, buddy. Welcome in. You know, we finally had someone reach a payout. I need to go back and find that on Discord, but one of the giveaway people actually finally reached a payout. I need to go back and see how they're doing. Anyway, I need to find, where was that? It was, here we go. Ikram, back on January 24th. I won the giveaway on the 12th, and I am now funded. So we've had one person win the 10K giveaway and then run it up to funded account. I need to check back in with them and see how they're doing, because that was on the 24th, and now we're a couple weeks in. They should be eligible for their first payout if they're still in it. So we'll see how that goes. All right, coming up on the 10-minute. I don't know if I'm going to take the 10-minute. The 10-minute one has not been working quite as well, so I'm probably just going to pass on the 10-minute one. I'm more inclined to think that the dollar continues to find a little bit of strength off of that news, the CPI news yesterday. So any pullbacks we get in here, I'm thinking we probably are aiming and looking to take out. Oh, we've already taken out yesterday's high here. Did we take out yesterday's low? Yes, we did. So just going to kind of wait and watch. I'm not in any hurry to take any trades today. My trades, I've only taken very few trades recently since I've been streaming less. My trading has gotten more consistent, which is good. And I've been taking fewer trades. So not really, I'm kind of back into the Brad do nothing mode of my trading, just trying to follow along with the higher time frame trends. And so here on Eurodollar, you can see we're in a downtrend. This is the daily time frame. We're trending down. We have taken out some sell side liquidity. We retraced back up and fell off. We've taken out this sell side liquidity here. Next targets are these lows. This daily fair value gap would be the next internal draw on liquidity, and then you have your lows, old lows for external draws on liquidity. And if you're looking at smart money concepts, the ICT concepts, the market maker sell models, where you have the smart money reversal, the break of structure, the fair value gap. I mean, it really was, you pull in, take out all of these highs, you get displacement down, you have a change in a change of character, a change of structure, whatever you want to call it, on this fair value gap on this day, creating a fair value gap, pulls back up into it, rebalances it, and then we've had lower price action and continuing to break and violate the bearish PD arrays that should be supporting price. If it's going to remain bullish, these should be respected, and they've just been violated, each one over and over. And so we'll continue along in those lines there. At least that's the way I'm thinking anyway, is just continue to see, not to say that we won't have some days of pullback here into these old lows, but overall, I would still anticipate the draw on liquidity being down. We do have no real news events today coming out that I know of. We do have, let me pull up my, I think tomorrow we've got, today for dollar, there's really nothing. There's crude oil inventories coming out. Not really much going on there. Tomorrow we've got the core retail sales, Empire State Manufacturing, some unemployment claims Thursday, and then Friday we've got more PPI, core PPI coming out. So Friday could be another kind of big wiki day. So we'll see. I think taking the breaks and not doing the streams, God, another freaking net. Taking the breaks and not doing the stream every day is, it's been good. Not staring at charts all the time. Not feeling the pressure, I guess, that I hadn't felt in quite a while, just to consistently execute, just because if people are watching, well, you should be trading, that kind of vibe. So things are going a lot better. Definitely better headspace for me. And we'll keep them. I'm still going to keep them kind of short. I'll still be doing them. Like this week, we'll do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But I'm not going to stay on long. We might do just an hour, just kind of catch up, see how everybody's doing. We'll watch and see how, markets respond and react here in these early opening Forex hours for sure. The NAS and the ES probably not really wanting to do much until I usually, if I'm going to trade indices, it's not until after the 9:30 open, which is going to be well after the stream is finished. So, but have been trading euro starting after 7 a.m. So we'll see what the opportunity affords us here. Coming into, depending on how you want to look at this on the 15-minute time frame, before we ran this, there is technically a breaker in here. I would use these candles right here. We had the last down close candles before we ran these old highs right here. So last down close candles, run highs, and we displaced lower. And we're coming back up into this little breaker block right here, right now. 15-minute, tiny little 15-minute order block there as well. These are the old Asian highs and lows. London took out the high and the low. We're pulling back up into the Asian range now here on euro. So we'll see. Pound still has quite a bit of sell side liquidity that it hasn't tapped into yet. Pound dollar still has these lows that it has not breached at all. Unlike the euro, the pound has stayed up a little bit higher, but has broken through and closed below these old lows. And then yesterday on CPI ran up into that order block right there, right wick to body, touched into that body of that, and then displaced a lot lower. I'm still thinking sell side here. It's failed to take out these highs. Sell side liquidity definitely looks like the place where pound might be wanting to reach on the daily time frame. So for me, any pullbacks up into this area, potentially into this breaker block here, down close candle, we took out the highs right here, and then we dropped on CPI. So any pullbacks you get today, maybe into tomorrow, finishing out the week bearish here, I think, on pound dollar. But your draw on liquidity is right there. Old daily lows is where it probably is going to want to be reaching. So I would be just looking here on lower time frames for confirmations that once it reaches back up, if it wants to get up into these areas here, potentially off of this breaker here, if it does want to reach back up into that, I'd be looking for lower time confirmations to want to potentially go short there. Same for euro dollar. I'm still leaning bearish bias on the euro dollar, so we'll see how that goes today. See if I get any. We've taken out some highs here on the 15-minute. Just kind of watching this area to see if we start to see any big displacement down. Might be an opportunity to get involved there, but again, not really trying to just jump into anything right off the bat here. Pound been crazy, big pump yesterday on the news, and then a big dump today on different news. Yeah, it's been a little whippy on pound dollar. I just feel like the markets overall to start the year, January, everything made sense to me, and then at the end of January, everything just kind of stopped making sense. And it took me I took about a week off, and it still just doesn't seem. Oh, excuse me. Smooth. I don't know if smooth is the right word, but it doesn't seem super smooth to me in a lot of ways. I don't know if it's still just the beginning of the year. I don't know if it's election year. I don't know if it's market driven, or things just haven't seemed consistently smooth, at least in my opinion. Goolsby is a great Halloween name. Yeah, not bad. And to be one of the Fed chairs, I guess it's appropriate. Scary, Mr. Scary. Let's see. Oh. I haven't looked at gold in yesterday it dumped. I didn't even look at it yesterday. I didn't do any trading yesterday, zero trading on CPI. I didn't open the chart until afternoon yesterday, and I only looked at really the indices and what euro did. So I did no trading on CPI. But gold kind of broke out of this consolidation zone yesterday on CPI. It had been just kind of chopping around here since for most of January and February, kind of in this tight range, and we finally had that pop down yesterday on the CPI data. So it took out those lows, took out these lows. Next draw on liquidity would be down here into these lows, probably potentially this fair value gap, and a big volume imbalance down here on the gold. This is the futures chart, not the Forex chart, but so the numbers might be a little different if you're looking at XAU. So on XAU, it looks like this, but you can see it took out these lows, and then you've got old daily lows down here. So if you're trading Forex, it looks like that price is at 1992, and if you're trading on the futures, price is at 2004. In your absence, I've been watching Donvo Mondays and Tuesdays. He trades the Gilded Gals. He does trade the Gilded Gals, and Donvo has it's crazy his like the way he trades. He literally will put in a mat, like he would put in, like he trades typically on like the 30-minute time frame or 15-minute time frame, and he's waiting for breaks above old wicks. So if he was going long here, he would be, let's just say he would be long, and he would be looking for something like this. That's Donvo's risk reward ratio. This is exactly how he would wait for a breakout. Now he wouldn't take this trade. He'd probably be waiting for a close above these wicks right here, a closure above those wicks, and then he'd wait for a bottom wick to start forming, and then once a bottom wick starts forming, he would put in a stop order, a sell stop, so that when it reversed, basically a candle closure above, the next candle opens, starts to put in a wick, and as it starts to put in a bottom wick, he would put a buy stop here, and he would have his stops like way down here, way down here, and this is what he counts as a winning trade. Like he would look for literally like 2 pips, 5 pips, 10 pips, whatever, on a 30 lot or a 50 lot execution trade limit. So I'm not saying it doesn't work. The dude had a massive winning streak. He takes these quick little hits, gets in, gets out on massive contract sizes. He ran up a massive account last year doing the same thing. So he does talk a lot about analysis. If you watch his streams, I used to watch his streams a lot, and he goes pretty in depth into, it's a kind of an interesting strategy. I think a lot of it is kind of Raja Banks. I think that's where he kind of initially got his technical education and trading acumen. I think it was from Raja Banks, because I think Raja trades that a lot, that the same kind of style a lot too. But yeah, it's interesting to watch him hyper scalp basically in front of 4,000 or 5,000 people every single day, and yeah, it's good for him. He's made a lot of money, and he's not even doing challenges. He's just trading his own live account. Like, he built up his own live account. I think he ran it up to over $1 million last year, if it's to be believed, and you actually look at his MT4 stuff that he puts online. But he'll have winners of like 2,000, 3,000, 6,000, 4,000, right? He'll have like, and I think he was on like, I don't know, like a 50 win streak or something like that. And then he'll have one losing day of like 55,000 that wipes out all like 50 days worth of winning trades. I mean, or at least a week or 2 weeks of winning trades, which isn't bad, I guess, but pretty insane. Is Raja Banks a fraud? Depends on who you ask. Top CV has stopped associating with Patrick Wheeler and ICT because of their massive number of resets. At least that's what they've implied. Yeah, dude, they're just... I didn't even know ICT was part of Top Step. But yeah, Patrick is... I think part of his shtick is just a gambler, and he just goes in, which is why he's doing the Apex. They can do 20 accounts on Apex, and he can just YOLO it, pass, activate, YOLO one trade again, and get a massive payout. So I think guys like Trades by Matt, is that his name? Trades by Matt? And like guys like Cami Capital and others, they're not gamblers, so to speak. Like, they actually have a consistent idea, a consistent trading strategy with conservative risk. Didn't close below this fair value gap. I think if we had closed below that fair value gap, I might want to take that inversion down into those lows. But yeah, it respected it on the 3 minute. Nothing super clean here. Yeah, I'm going to wait. Not quite a clean enough breaker structure there for me on euro. What's pound doing here? Definitely not. Just reaching up into this fair value gap here. Did close above these old highs, so we're just going to wait and let it continue to cook a minute. Tradesman is also no longer social top set T, but that's for other reasons, or so they've implied. Yeah, I know he's also doing Apex stuff now too. I don't know why all these guys have left Top Step. Some of the bigger streamers. It's been interesting to see how they've all moved over to Apex. I don't know if Apex snatched them, like if they gave them some just massively sweet affiliate deals where, you know, either they're not having to pay for these accounts that they're trading live on the stream. Maybe they're getting free evaluation accounts. Maybe they're getting monthly salaries. Who knows what they're offering these guys, but it has been interesting to see several of them move away from Top Step and move over to Apex, because Apex, quite frankly, is much more difficult to pass the evaluation with the live trailing drawdown. ICT was actually supposed to be on Top Step. Really? He flaked at the last minute. They say they were going to ask him about his resets on their interview section, so there's the implication. What's up, Ben? Glad to be back, buddy. We're gonna keep the stream short again. I'm not gonna. I don't want to mess up my flow. So we'll be on and we'll be hanging out. I'll tell you just a little bit about what I'm thinking and what I see, but I'm not going to do account updates. I mean, if I take a trade here, you'll see it, but you know, other than that, I'm just chilling. We'll see how this closes here. If it can close here below this 5-minute fair value gap, I might be interested in getting short here on euro dollar. We'll see. Coming into the 30-minute close. Pulled it right back up into the OTE here from the London move down. If we were going to get short, it'd probably be something like this. Probably just target these initial lows. I'm guessing that would give you almost 1 to 2. You could probably do it if you wanted to target the lows, actually get a full 1 to 2 there. We'll see. What's up? I got a Texas question for you. What are your thoughts about Congress torpedoing? I don't know why I had trouble saying that. Torpedoing the border bill and then turning around and impeaching the guy for not doing enough for the border. What are my thoughts on Congress torpedoing the border bill and then turning around and impeaching the guy for not doing enough for the border? I think the border is just a mess. There was it's just a mess, the whole situation. So I want to do a limit order here, potentially. Off of that inverted fair value, yeah, potentially. It's a mess. The border bill, I think, it gets into a lot. To me, it's a lot bigger deal than just the border, because it was all about money for all of these foreign war aid, the aid for the foreign war. And a lot of people have different opinions about that. And it's like we're sending hundreds of billions of dollars to all of these foreign wars to protect, quote unquote, to protect their borders. Meanwhile, we're not doing anything to protect ours. When we have laws in place currently, without even having to do new laws, there's laws in place that just enforce those laws. And you wouldn't be in the situation you're certainly in now if you would just enforce the laws that were already on the books. So being from Texas, I think most people in Texas are in favor of everything Abbott's doing. And I know a lot of what Abbott's doing is just for show. He shut off one park. One park. I mean, come on. So it was really just more of a public stunt what he's done to shut off the flow. Now the Eagle Pass border issue was probably the worst as far as people coming across. That was where most people were coming across. So it was a massive hole that he did plug. But let's be honest, the border is thousands of miles long, and there's still thousands of people crossing every single day. So they just go down a couple miles and come across at a different spot. So I think people in Texas are kind of fed up with it. We've been dealing with it for years. The rest of the country has not. And so, yeah, it's interesting to see now that Abbott started busing and flying immigrants all over the country to quote unquote sanctuary cities. The response now from those cities is like, oh my God, we should do something about the border. Our cities are getting overrun. That's like, dude, Texas has been overrun for a decade. And I don't want to sound like I'm callous towards immigrants. I'm not. But I think there's a way you can't just have a completely open border. That's just asinine. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. So that's kind of how I think all that. So I think it wasn't necessarily just about torpedoing the border bill as much as it was like, look, you guys are just sending hundreds of billions of dollars to a war that can't be won in Ukraine, number one. Now, if you want to talk about the money for Israel, and then there's money for Taiwan and all this other stuff, and it's like, meanwhile, you have all the other stuff going on. So I think the impeachment for the Mayorkas deal, to me, the impeachment thing for the Mayorkas deal makes more sense only in the fact that he's really done pretty much nothing and done everything opposite of what a Homeland Security, like the Homeland Security chief, I think is who he was, right? Or is he? I can't remember. I may be speaking about things I have absolutely no clue about. Anyway, if you're the Homeland Security chief and you let 3 million people into your country that have no vetting process, and you're just releasing them into your lands, doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Anyone looking for some relief on gold if we get a breakout from this range could start looking good. Venator rants. Yeah, I try not to get in and talk about all the politics stuff too much. I'm probably central to right leaning than definitely I'm definitely not on the left side of the political spectrum. But I'm definitely not on the extreme right either. I think I try to find some moderate middle ground as much as I can. So this trade that I'm looking at trying to get into right here, just got into, would be just looking for a run back down into these lows. The 30-minute candle just opened. So we're looking at potential top wick putting in and then a push back down. I had some trouble getting through this section here, so we'll see. But I do like the run back up into the optimal trade entry from the London high here. So you had the overnight high from the London session, overnight low, pulled right back up into the fair value gap, ripped right into the optimal trade entry, got back into a premium level from this London move. So you had the London move here, and you got back up into a premium level above the 50% line and tapped into and rebalanced some of these fair value gaps in here on a higher time frame. You can see how that all looks. Got into this order block and ran this buy side liquidity. We're getting displacement down and a violation of a fair value gap there. So we'll see how it all plays out. John says, still certain Republicans come off enjoying the ability of campaigning off the border issue rather than fixing the border issue. Yeah, I don't know how much the border bill that they actually put in was going to help in any way. The Senate version definitely seemed a little lacking to me. That there was still a provision that would allow up to 5,000 people a day to cross, which is over 1 million people a year. And I still don't understand how that would have been a good thing when you just let 1 million people into your country for really no good reason. I guess isn't the best way to say that, but I don't have another way to say that at this early in the morning. It's 6:37 in the morning for me right now. So John says, the problem with the border appears to be more important than fixing the problem. In other words, they would hate it if Biden actually fixed the problem, which he won't because Biden sucks. Yeah, Biden's not going to fix the border. He's going to he wants to appear to be fixing the border, but he doesn't want to fix the border. And the Republicans, I think you're right, probably would hate if he actually fixed the border because then they don't have anything to rail against him about. Well, that's not true. They have plenty to rail against him about, but the border is obviously one of the biggest issues he faces at the moment. So with the report, that DOJ report that came out where they were just blasting him for being an elderly, senile old man that isn't capable of standing trial because the jury would have sympathy on this old man who has memory issues. They're talking about the president of the United States of America. Dude, and then he comes out in that press conference and he just puts the nail in the coffin on how people are portraying him, just angry and yelling and like, man, it's pretty brutal to watch. Pretty brutal to watch. A lot of the mainstream media are the kind of the leftist mainstream media are starting to turn on him now, and you can see it in the way that they're attacking him with questions. And just wait, man. They're going to figure out a way to he's not going to run. They're not going to let him run. Whoever the puppet masters are with the Democratic Party, they're not going to let that guy run. There's no way he has another 5 years, the rest of this year and then 4 more years. There's absolutely no way. And if you think they're going to let Kamala Harris anywhere near the Oval Office, you smoking some good ganja. They're only saying what you've been saying for months about geriatric leaders. Oh, yeah, for sure. He's one of our two choices. The other is rapist fraudster. I saw somebody the other day tweet something, another guy I follow, but he was just like, America, We get to decide when we want to have someone smart leading the country. we the people. We the people. Sad thing is that there's so much massive control over who the Republican parties and Democratic parties decide who they're going to let even run. And they don't let smart people run. They let people that they can control run. And that's how we got into the situation we're kind of in right now, sadly. Yeah, and a nice little push down here. I think if we can get into about halfway into this fair value gap, I'll probably move down into a break-even position there. It's almost as if neither side wants to win. It's just, they just create problems and then point at each other about how the other person created the problem when they both created the problems. It's frustrating for sure. Very frustrating. All in one episode. Hey, if we're not going to trade, we might as well talk. John's the one that started it. John's the one that started it. How about crypto? What about Bitcoin up over 50K? What do y'all think about that? Got the ETF dump so that the big boys could buy at the lower prices. Moving up in here to a nice little monthly. What is this? A daily? I don't know why I had those lines on my charts. I guess it was a weekly fair value gap that I didn't mark out very well. Weekly fair value gap here. Weekly fair value gap up here, and then all-time highs. Whoops. We got a yesterday did not get a body candle close above this old high. Looks like today we might. It might even push up into this weekly fair value gap there. But it's ripping, man. The crypto is ripping. God, I can't even talk. Do. 100K, maybe. I mean, who knows? It could rip to 100K. Crazier things have happened. And this is the year where I think a bunch of crazy stuff is going to happen. This is the year. I said it from the beginning. I think this is the year where multiple times this year we're going to be like, did that just happen? Is this happening right now? I think that's going to be multiple times because I think one of those is going to be Biden. I don't see how they keep him on the ticket at this point and how they get him off. And who they're gonna run up in his place all in the next 6 months. So that time stamp or that time window is closing rapidly, which means things will probably move quicker than you anticipate. You've got the Ukraine war, you've got the stuff in Israel, you've got China and Taiwan. You've got the presidential election. I mean, it's just a whole... You've got the Summer Olympics this year in Paris, right? I think the Summer Olympics are in Paris this year. So a lot of stuff going on, man. A lot of crazy things could be happening. Would have really preferred to see a body candle close below these lows here on the 5-minute time frame. So we'll see how this next 15-minute candle prints. Leaving behind a tiny little 15-minute fair value gap here. It may want to reach back up into, and that's fine. It's also in line with this 5-minute fair value gap, the inverted 5-minute fair value gap, and then there's a smaller one, bearish in the middle of all that. So we'll see. I do still like the OTE pullback here. Get the pullback into the optimal trade entry, and we target the old lows. So we'll see if we can get this to play out. I'm only going to stay on for about 15 more minutes, guys, and then we're going to probably call it a day. But Shadow, I'm a good crypto trader. I only have problems in FX. Yeah, dude. I've seen you post your crypto trades before in the Discord. So it does seem like. Do you use the exact same strategy on crypto that you use on Forex? And I'm wondering if they just don't cross correlate the way crypto moves versus Forex. But Cisco says, to be fair, I've believed Bitcoin will hit 100K for like 5 years. There's a lot of people that have said Bitcoin to 100K. I've heard that for years and years and years. We'll see. Shadow, I give signals in crypto trading, and since January to date, we've only had 4 stop losses, over 1,500% profits. Dang. Shadow needs to open your own YouTube stream, bro. Bitcoin halving in less than 60 days, so it might make 100K realistic. Yeah, the halving coming in could be the next big push. John. I think that's racist, John. Smoke. Oh, gosh. My last employer? Is that why you're no longer teaching? Coaching? I think John's been smoking something. Maybe. I'd like to see a body candle close below that line right there. We'll make it purple so it stands out. Get rid of that. Like to see a body candle close below this swing low on the 5-minute. And if we can reach down into this fair value gap, I'll probably go ahead and move my stop to break even here. Shadow, John knows what you're talking about, my friend. He's just giving you a hard time. Where do you trade crypto at? Oh. What platform do you use to trade all these crypto trades on? Binance and Bybit. Is Binance still a thing? Didn't Binance get in trouble or something? Or who was that? Oh, that was FTX. I thought Binance was in some trouble too. I don't know. All right, guys, about 10 more minutes, and then we're going to roll out of here. We'll be back again tomorrow morning for about an hour. And then again on Friday, we'll do our 10K giveaway on Friday. Binance banned in the US. That's what I thought. I thought Binance had gotten into a little bit of issue. Okay, we got our 5-minute candle close, 5-minute body candle close below the swing low here, so that's good. Dip down into this fair value gap and volume imbalance potentially right here. Would be our next target in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think there's trading crypto in the US is not good. Trading crypto in the US anywhere is tough. That's why I'm trying to, I still have some Forex challenges going and a funded account, but I'm just preparing myself. That's why I'm trying to trade more futures, because I'm just preparing myself that at some point this year, all Forex firms are going to stop working with US customers. And that includes potential. Bespoke hasn't said this, but I'm just preparing myself for the probably ultimate reality that that's probably what's going to happen, is that this gets the U.S. customers are just going to get banned from being able to trade with Forex, especially with the prop firms. So the futures guys are going to be fine. That's why I'm trying to position myself with a couple of futures firms, with getting some funded accounts. So other than that, I'm not really, I'm not even trying to get more Forex capital at the moment, other than what I've got and the bespoke challenges that I'm in. So, what's up, Dean? Welcome in, man, for the last 8 minutes. Better late than never. Better late than never. It's okay. I think Dean's out in on the West Coast, so it's super early for Dean to get up, I believe. I was gonna say, yeah, 4:50. I remember Dean's a West Coast boy, so it's okay, Dean. The fact that you're up at 4:50 in the morning to get online and watch some dude you don't know chat about random crap that has nothing to do with trading anyway. Oh my goodness. Almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon for shadow trades. Oof, man, that sounds nice. I don't know where I'll be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but big little pump here. If we get a body candle closure above this old inverted fair value gap, I will close this trade. I will not wait for the stop to get run. Today I read about Psalms 51 where David expresses his sorrow for his sins. All right, if this 5-minute candle closes back above this inverted fair value gap, we will close this trade before I will not let my stop get run. This is one thing that I have been, I have added into my trade management is cutting my losses early. Now, if it runs the stop on the 5-minute candle, fine, whatever. But if it just bounces around here and we get a closure above this 5-minute inverted fair value gap, I'll close that out. Rejoin for quiet time. Kind of ran out of the words to talk about. John and Dean are talking about their Bible studies right now. Has anyone heard this saying, I'm good to spend a penny? I don't think I've ever heard that. That is a new one to me. My wife is claiming it's a thing. I'm going to spend a penny. I'm going to spend a penny. I don't think I've ever heard that phrase. I don't think I've ever heard the phrase, I'm going to spend a penny. Is that just in like, I'm going to go shopping? Is that what it's in reference to? Or I'm about to drop some money on something? I've never heard that. To go pee? It's going to the bathroom? I'm going to spend a penny. I'm going to take a piss. That's what it means. First, having to pay to use a public toilet. It's not an American thing. I've never heard it before. I've never heard that before. And I can't think of one time in my life I've ever had to pay to use a toilet. It must be a UK thing. I've never heard that before. All the cross-cultural idioms that make sense to some and not to others. Outside is free. Of course it is. John, do you have an outhouse? I think everyone thinks you probably have an outhouse. Well, this 5-minute candle is holding here, interestingly enough, inside this inverted fair value gap. And I actually did respect this little 5-minute bearish fair value gap. So we'll see. I thought it might close above when we'd close this. We're into the 8 o'clock hour here, so we'll see what kind of pop-up we get. It may just take us out. on this 8 o'clock pump. We'll see. Let's see how this first 5-minute candle closes. If it doesn't take us out and it closes bullish, we'll probably close it. But that's it for me today, guys. 8 o'clock hour. We got an hour in. It's good to be back. I'll be back again tomorrow, Thursday morning, and then again doing the giveaway on Friday. So hope you all have a great day. Be safe. Happy hunting. And we will catch y'all mañana, all right? Adios, my friends.